The lights go out. Click. Your kitchen freezes mid-meal. The stove, the fridge, the Wi-Fi, dead. You grab your phone. No service. Outside, pure blackout, no cars, no streetlights, just silence. Now, here's the twist. It's not just your block or your city. The entire planet just blinked out, like someone yanked the cosmic plug. Sounds impossible? That's what we thought about a global pandemic until 2020 made toilet paper more valuable than Bitcoin. And this? A worldwide blackout? Not science fiction, not even rare. In 2003, the Northeast blackout hit 50 million people across the US and Canada. In 2012, India had the largest power outage in history, 600 million people without power. In 2017, Hurricane Maria knocked out Puerto Rico's grid for months. In 2021, a Texas freeze left millions without electricity, heat, or water, some for weeks. And those were regional. Imagine all of them at once, with no internet, no resupply, no ETA. The good news? You've got 72 hours to lock in survival mode. The bad news? If you waste them, the blackout won't kill you. Your inaction will. Hour zero, water comes first. Forget the food. Forget your phone charger. Forget standing in your kitchen yelling at Alexa to turn the lights back on like she's being stubborn. Water is the clock. You can live 4 to 8 weeks without food. Yes, I Googled it, but only 3 days without water before your organs start negotiating an exit strategy like, okay, brain, we've had a good run. Time to peace out. Step 1. Store it before the herd wakes up. Before your neighbors realize they're just fleshy Capri Suns with legs, you need to stockpile water like it's concert merch. Fill everything, the bathtub, the sinks, pots, pans, Tupperware lids that never matched anything. That weird IKEA vase you bought in a phase and never threw flowers in. If it can hold liquid without leaking, congratulations. It's now a survival tool. Target: 1 gallon per person, per day. Double that if it's hot, or if you're the type to sweat aggressively just by thinking about running. If you start sweating just thinking about exercise, plan for double. If you actually attempt it, plan for a small lake. Step 2. Purify like a scientist, drink like a king. Here's the truth. City water treatment stops when the grid does, which means your faucet might keep dripping. But that crystal clear liquid, it's now a microbial party bus. DIY filter: take a 2-liter soda bottle. Cut the bottom off. Layer gravel, sand, and crushed charcoal. Not the charcoal from your fancy art pencils, unless you want sketch water. The black crunchy stuff from your grill. Water drips through, sediment stays behind. Pathogens? Still there. This is filtration, not a Hogwarts spell. You'll need a second step. Boiling. The gold standard. Bring water to a rolling boil for 1 minute, 3 if you're at altitude. Do it on a camp stove, a backyard fire, or a stove you improvised out of bricks and misplaced optimism. Bleach treatment. No, not the lavender-scented, color-safe kind. Unscented household bleach. 8 drops per gallon. Stir. Wait 30 minutes, and yes, you'll taste it. That faint pool water vibe? Still better than cholera. Your inner foodie will complain. Your intestines will say, thank you. And hey, if this tip just saved you from rolling the dice with your tap water, hit that like button. Subscribe for more survival psychology and hacks, so the next time the lights go out, you're the one calmly pouring safe water while everyone else panics. Step 3. Become a cloud farmer. If taps run dry and bottled water is gone, it's time to channel your inner Bear Grylls, minus the TV crew and catering truck. Solar still. Dig a hole. Put a cup in the center. Cover with plastic wrap. Place a rock in the middle so the wrap slopes downward. The sun heats the soil, water evaporates, condenses, and drips into the cup. It's like making Mother Nature cry into your drink, but in a productive way. Rain catchment. Stretch a tarp at an angle, funneling water into a bucket. Bonus: for the first time in your life, you'll actively pray for storm clouds instead of dreading them. Condensation hack. Tie plastic bags over leafy branches. Plants transpire, moisture collects, and you harvest it. It's like free Gatorade, minus the electrolytes and plus the taste of regret. Pro tip: wizard mode. If you prep before the blackout, you can build a gravity-fed drip filter with 2 buckets and ceramic filter elements. This setup will churn out gallons of clean water, while your neighbors are still debating whether Monster Energy counts as hydration. Do this, and congratulations. You've just become the neighborhood water wizard, the kind of person people will barter with. I'll trade you half a can of beans and my eternal loyalty for a liter of your clean water. Spoiler: that's how civilizations restart. The first meal: eat in order or eat in regret. Here's the rookie mistake. People sit on their cans of beans like they're heirlooms from grandma, while their fridge quietly turns into a petri dish. That's not strategy, that's biohazard cosplay. Day 1. Your refrigerator is basically a very expensive countdown clock. Once the power's out, every degree it rises above 40 degrees. Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, is a green light for bacteria to start their version of Coachella. Think Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria, tiny ravegoers multiplying while you stand there debating if string cheese is a meal. So, here's the golden rule. Fresh first, cans later. Milk, eggs, cheese, meat. Cook them immediately. Yes, all of them. Omelets, frittatas, meatloaf, fondue, a 7-cheese, why not casserole, whatever Frankenstein meal your fridge allows. If you can't eat it, share it, barter it, or throw the weirdest blackout dinner party your block has ever seen. You may not have power, but you'll have lasagna diplomacy. Next stop, the freezer. A full freezer stays cold for about 48 hours if you don't open it. Half full, cut that in half. So, unless you want to gamble on surprise shrimp cocktail, you'll need to thaw and cook soon. Bonus, cooking frozen food actually buys you time. Heat kills most bacteria, and cooking creates leftovers that can last a few days longer without refrigeration. The long game, shelf-stable MVPs. Once you've eaten your way through perishables like Pac-Man, you enter the age of the immortals, foods designed to outlive you. Canned beans, tuna, soup. These things are time capsules. 5 years later, they'll still be edible, and your descendants will curse your name while eating cold ravioli straight from the tin. Rice, pasta, oats. If you store them airtight and keep them cool and dry, rice and oats can last 20 to 30 years without blinking. Pasta's a little more delicate, usually 10 to 15 years if sealed properly, but still long enough that your grandkids could inherit your emergency spaghetti. In other words, these are basically edible fossils. Archaeologists could dig them up centuries later and still cook a surprisingly decent risotto. Peanut butter and honey. These are the immortals. Honey doesn't spoil. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs, still good. Peanut butter, packed with protein, fat, and comfort. Basically, apocalypse Nutella. Morale food. Don't underestimate this. Instant coffee, tea, chocolate, hard candy. Because here's the psychology. When the sun sets at 5 p.m., your brain starts whispering, "Is this forever?" That's when a Hershey's Kiss or a cup of instant coffee feels like therapy. Sugar and caffeine hack your mood chemicals, giving you the illusion of control, which, honestly, is half the game of surviving anything. Cooking without power, because you're not eating cold beans forever. When the lights are gone, you'll discover who you truly are. Outdoor grill or camping stove. Obvious choice, but remember, propane is now worth more than crypto. DIY rocket stove. 2 cans, 1 lighter, infinite swagger. Get it right, and your dopamine system will throw you a victory parade. Why? Because humans are wired to celebrate mastery moments. Even if that mastery is just not burning down your porch while making apocalypse ramen. Solar cooker. It's real. It works. It makes you look like you're trying to phone aliens with a tinfoil contraption. But hey, if NASA trusts the sun for power, so can your chili. Because here's the secret. Cooking isn't just about safety. It's about morale. Warm food feels like civilization. Cold food feels like college. And when the world outside feels unstable, your brain craves signals of normalcy. Sitting down with hot soup, even if it's from a can, tricks your nervous system into lowering the panic meter. Basically, heat equals hope. Light and heat, the new gold. When the sun drops, darkness feels heavier, primitive. Your brain interprets pitch black as, "Congratulations, you're prey now." Cortisol rises, heart rate ticks up. That shadow, totally a leopard waiting to pounce. Spoiler, it's a chair. Humans didn't invent nightlights because they're cute. We invented them because our nervous systems panic without photons. Light is reassurance. Warmth is safety. Without them, your brain literally thinks civilization has ended, which might be true. Light hacks, candles. Store more than you think, then double it. And yes, you'll also discover that wax melts faster when you're staring at it, panicking about your phone dying. Oil lamps. Any vegetable oil plus a wick equals instant medieval mood lighting. Olive oil turns into Tuscan blackout chic. DIY lantern. Clear plastic jug filled with water. Flashlight aimed in. The water refracts the beam into a soft, room-filling glow. Translation: IKEA hack meets apocalypse. Glow sticks, flameless, safe, and guaranteed to make your living room look like a rave hosted by sadness itself. Plus, novelty light lowers stress. Even your brain likes party favors. Heat hacks. Insulate one room. Blanket fort, rules apply. Close off a space, drape fabric over doors, seal cracks. Not only warmer, but your brain associates enclosure with safety. Translation. You just tricked your lizard brain into calm mode. Clay pot plus tea lights. Stack them right, and you've got a mini heater. It won't replace central heating, but it will stop your fingers from auditioning for Frozen 3. And just ventilate unless you want a bonus carbon monoxide plot twist. Hot water bottles. Boil water. Pour into a sturdy metal or glass bottle. Wrap in cloth. Presto, portable radiator. Survival meets spa day. Energy discipline. Your eyes are sneaky. They adapt to darkness in minutes. Use light in short bursts. Let your vision recalibrate. Every flashlight click is a trade-off. Comfort now, blindness later. Psych twist. Scarcity sharpens attention. The darker it gets, the more vividly you'll remember every flicker you burn. Treat batteries like gold coins in an RPG. You can't grind for more. Tools. Your new best friends. If you're early to the store, congrats. You get first pick before the panic zombies clean it out. Here's the A-list. Multi-tool or sturdy knife. First aid kit. Duct tape for repairs, makeshift bandages, traps, and probably 47 other things. Rope/paracord for building, hauling, climbing. Fire starter, ferro rod, waterproof matches. Portable solar charger, hand crank radio. Improvised genius moves. Shielded metal bucket equals quick DIY Faraday cage to protect small electronics. PVC pipes or bamboo for hauling water. Alternative energy, the tiny power you can make. Humans are hilariously bad at living without plugs. Take away an outlet and suddenly you're pacing like a caged Sims character whose fun bar is flashing red. The good news? You can actually MacGyver your way into power. Just don't expect to run your PS5. Solar. A folding solar panel is basically a lifeboat for your electronics. It won't cook dinner or power your air fryer obsession, but it will keep radios, flashlights, and power banks alive. Think of it as a drip feed IV for your sanity. Pro tip, position it right, because solar panels are basically introverts. They do their best work when they're left alone in full sun, no interruptions. Wind? Got an old bike and a car alternator? Congrats, you're halfway to becoming a mad scientist. A DIY microturbine can generate a steady trickle of power, enough to top off a phone, keep a radio alive, or drip feed a power bank. It shines if you've got steady breezes, not so much in your sealed window apartment, where the only gust is your sigh of regret. Psychologists note that building contraptions like this restores a sense of control in chaos. Translation. The turbine might not run your fridge, but it will keep your walkie-talkie alive, and your ego fully charged. Thermal. This one's straight up witchcraft. Wood stove fans that run purely on heat differentials look like something Harry Potter would order on Amazon. No plugs, no batteries, just fire hot, fans spin. And then there's the bigger sibling, thermoelectric generators. Stick one by your campfire, and boom, you've turned caveman heat into enough juice to run a GPS, walkie-talkie, or maybe keep TikTok alive long enough to watch one last dance trend before society collapses. Psychological cheat code. Even a tiny light can keep panic at bay. Research shows a dim LED glow lowers stress hormones because darkness makes your brain flip into saber-tooth paranoia mode. So, yeah, these watts aren't just about charging gear. They're about charging you. Pro move, charge power banks during the day so you can coast through the night. Think of it like solar energy meal prep. Future you will thank, past you when it's 11 p.m. You're sitting in the dark, and the only other option is narrating shadow puppets to yourself. The psychology of freeze mode. Here's the trap. People wait. They think, power's coming back any minute. So they sit and scroll a dead phone and watch the fridge slowly turn into a biology experiment. They wait an hour, then 6, then a day. By the time they realize it's not coming back, the water's gone, the stores are stripped, and the temperature has dropped like your Wi-Fi signal in the middle of a Zoom call. Why do we do this? Psychologists call it normalcy bias. Your brain hates rewriting the script, so it convinces you tomorrow will look just like yesterday, even when yesterday's toilet won't flush. It's the same quirk that kept people in their airplane seats during evacuations, sipping soda, because the idea of emergency felt too weird to process. We saw this in 2020. No masks, no sanitizer, no toilet paper. Still can't explain that one. Humor aside, freeze mode kills. Your stress system locks you into wait and see, when survival demands move and do. Action, even imperfect, calms panic, because it gives your brain evidence that you're not helpless. Action plan for the first 3 hours. Secure water, food, heat, light, and comms. Your future self will thank you when the taps cough air and the neighbors are fighting over flashlight batteries. Within 24 hours, establish a group. Lone wolves starve, wolf packs eat. Inventory resources. Because 5 jars of olives and no can opener isn't a win. Assess threats, not just looters, weather, cold, even carbon monoxide from that sketchy DIY heat source. Build your tribe, the survival dream team. In a blackout, your Wi-Fi's dead. Your Google searches are gone. The only how-to you'll have is the human being standing next to you. Suddenly, that neighbor who always fixes stuff in the hallway is worth more than the entire contents of your Amazon cart. You want veterans, firefighters, electricians, engineers, nurses, EMTs. Basically, the cast of a network TV drama. Why? Veterans equal security and tactical awareness. Translation: they know how to handle chaos without crying in the corner. Bonus points if they can navigate by stars or open a can of beans with a bayonet. Firefighters equal rescue skills, hazard control. If something catches fire, collapses, or explodes, they're not just calm, they're weirdly excited. Electricians equal repair and makeshift power. The person who can coax life out of a car battery becomes the wizard of the village. Forget gold. People will line up to worship the one who can make the coffee machine hum again. Engineers equal build and improvise solutions. Need a water filter from a sock, charcoal, and duct tape? Hand it to the engineer. They've been waiting their whole life for this moment. Medical pros equal keep people alive when injury or illness hits. Let's be honest, they're the VIPs because nobody cares about your new homemade windmill if half your group is bleeding out. The psychology behind the tribe. Humans evolved in bands of 30 to 50 for a reason. Your brain is hardwired for social survival math. Alone, your odds plummet. In a group, your stress hormones drop because responsibility is shared. Someone's on watch while you sleep. Someone knows what plants won't kill you. Someone tells a bad joke to keep spirits up. Skills become currency. Knowledge becomes survival. And trust me, you'll trade canned beans for the guy who can restart your water pump. You'll trade your last Snickers for the nurse who notices your cough isn't just a cough. Because in survival, you're not just building a team, you're building a primitive version of Google, made out of people. 72 hours later, the first 3 days are over. If you've done it right, you have clean water. You've eaten without panic. You've stayed warm, lit, and connected. You've found your people. If you haven't, well, the blackout hasn't even gotten hard yet. The world may go dark, but what you do in the first 72 hours decides if you see the next sunrise. Prepare now while the lights are still on. Which survival myth should I debunk next? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like button if you feel 80% more paranoid, but 100% more prepared. And hit subscribe if you're into ideas that stick, figures that sketch. Ready for your next system update? Tap here and keep playing smart.